Tariffs are a fact of life in global trade. They are essentially taxes on goods that cross borders. These taxes increase the cost of imported products, making them more expensive for consumers. Think of it like this: when a business in one country wants to sell its product in another country, it often has to pay a tariff. This makes the product more expensive in the importing country. The idea is to protect domestic industries and jobs. Tariffs are a complex issue with a long history. They have been used for centuries to protect domestic industries and generate revenue for governments. Understanding tariffs is essential for anyone who wants to understand the complexities of international trade. Governments impose tariffs by setting a tax rate on specific goods. This rate can be a percentage of the product's value or a fixed amount per unit. When a product crosses a border, customs officials collect the tariff payment. There are various reasons why governments use tariffs. One common reason is to protect domestic industries from foreign competition. By making imported goods more expensive, tariffs can make locally produced goods more appealing to consumers. Tariffs can also be used as a bargaining chip in trade negotiations. By threatening to impose tariffs, one country can try to pressure another country into making trade concessions. Additionally, governments may use tariffs to generate revenue. The money collected from tariffs can be used to fund government programs. There are different types of tariffs, each with unique characteristics. Import tariffs are the most common type, applied to goods entering a country. They aim to protect domestic industries by making foreign goods more expensive. Export tariffs are less common. They are levied on goods leaving a country. These tariffs are sometimes used to increase the domestic supply of a product or generate revenue from exports. Specific tariffs are levied as a fixed amount per unit of a good. For instance, a country might impose a specific tariff of $10 on every barrel of imported oil. This type of tariff is straightforward to administer, but can be less effective when dealing with goods of varying quality. Section 4. The global impact of tariffs. A look at the US-China trade war. The recent trade war between the United States and China provides a stark example of the global impact of tariffs. In 2018, the Trump administration imposed tariffs on billions of dollars worth of Chinese goods. China retaliated with tariffs of its own on US products. This tit-for-tat exchange of tariffs had significant consequences for both countries. Businesses in both countries faced higher costs, leading to job losses and reduced profits. Consumers also felt the pinch. As prices for imported goods rose, consumers had less money to spend on other things. The trade war also disrupted global supply chains. Businesses that relied on components or materials from both countries had to find alternative sources, which often came at a higher cost. The dispute highlighted the interconnectedness of the global economy and the potential for tariffs to have far-reaching consequences. Section 5. Examining the two sides. Benefits and drawbacks of tariffs. Tariffs have both benefits and drawbacks. On the one hand, they can protect domestic industries and jobs. By making imported goods more expensive, tariffs can make it easier for local businesses to compete. This protection can be essential for industries that are still developing or facing stiff competition from abroad. Tariffs can also generate revenue for governments. This revenue can be used to fund important public services such as education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Moreover, tariffs can be used as a tool to address unfair trade practices, such as dumping, where countries sell goods below cost to gain market share. However, tariffs also have downsides. They can lead to higher prices for consumers. When tariffs are imposed on imported goods, those higher costs are often passed on to consumers in the form of higher prices. This can reduce consumer purchasing power and slow economic growth. Furthermore, tariffs can harm domestic industries that rely on imported inputs. For example, tariffs on steel and aluminum can increase costs for manufacturers that use these materials, making their products less competitive globally. Section 6. Conclusion. Tariffs and the future of global trade. Tariffs are a complex and controversial issue. They can be a valuable tool for governments, but also carry significant risks. As we have seen, tariffs can protect domestic industries, generate revenue, and address unfair trade practices. However, they can also lead to higher prices for consumers, harm industries that rely on imports, and spark trade wars. The future of tariffs is uncertain. Some argue that in an increasingly globalized world, free trade is essential for economic growth and prosperity. They believe that tariffs should be minimized or eliminated to promote trade and cooperation between nations. Others argue that tariffs are necessary to protect domestic industries and jobs from foreign competition. They believe that governments have a responsibility to safeguard their citizens' economic interests, even if it means implementing protectionist measures like tariffs.